Hey everybody, Joe here. I am back again, and it is once again the first Wednesday of the month, and it's time for some pickups. So let's take a look at what I got. This is what I bought in the month of March, and needless to say, got my tax refund in, so I did splurge a little bit. There are two brand new non-retro titles to mention here. One of them is digital, so I can't show you a copy of it. I mean, I probably could have recorded some footage because I'm playing it all the time anyway. You should probably already know what that game is, and that is The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Have been absolutely enjoying it. I guess about 3/4 of the way through, not counting the shrines. I'm only about halfway through the shrines. Probably not even a quarter of the way into the seeds. But I'm not really even too concerned with that. I just want to, you know, get the basics done. You know, you got your 4 dungeons, get your memories. Hope I'm not spoiling anything talking about memories, but whatever. And the other game that's brand new was Mass Effect Andromeda. I know a lot of people are talking mixed stuff about this, but I'm honestly really enjoying it. It's been fun so far. I know they're patching to fix some of the animation soon, but I don't really care. I mean, yeah, some of the animation is a bit awkward looking, but it didn't really bother me that much. Gameplay element, though, the gameplay is a lot of fun. I mean, the action, really good. I figure since I just showed you those two, I'll just get the console stuff out of the way because I've got a lot of non-console stuff to show you and some stuff that I have never talked about before on the Joe Goes Retro page or YouTube channel or anywhere. I may have shown a couple pictures, but that's it. And I'll get into that at the end of this video. Let's just show you the rest of the console games I bought, and the next one is a copy of Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. Unfortunately, this is only the disc in here. Doesn't have the soundtrack or any of that, no manual. I might upgrade eventually, but I've got a copy of it, so that's cool. Then I've got a few TurboGrafx 2 cards here. Sidearms, Alien Crush. I already had Devil's Crush, now I've got them both. Bonk's Revenge. Here a lot of people say that Revenge is better than Adventure. And Ninja Spirit. So yeah, I got some pretty decent TurboGrafx 16 titles adding to the collection there. Have, I think, 21 games for the TurboGrafx now. Alright, and how about a couple Game Boy Color titles here? I don't usually get too many Game Boy Color because I'm not a big fan of the Game Boy Color's library. There's some good stuff. This is Blaster Master Enemy Below. People talking so much about the new Blaster Master. I'm like, let's get some of the old ones in, see if I can get them cheap. And the next one to talk about is called Dragon Dance. Don't know anything about that. Got it in a lot with a bunch of regular Game Boy games, and I got some really good regular original Game Boy games to show you. But I will show you probably the highlight, if any of the other stuff hasn't been a highlight yet, of this month's pickups video. It's the Japanese version, it's not the US version. The Japanese version costs only 1/5 of the American version, that's why I picked it up. There's no region on the Virtual Boy. And that next Virtual Boy game to my collection is Jack Brothers. I said I was going to get the Japanese version last month. I set out, I did some shopping around. Yeah, 60 bucks. That is about what you'll pay for the Japanese version of Jack Brothers if you're getting it off eBay or something like that. I paid a little less than that. 60 to 80 is what the going eBay price for this is for the Japanese version. 3 to 350 is what the American version is going for. So onto the Game Boy cartridges, the original Game Boy games. I picked up a nice lot of them. One of them I actually already reviewed before I've ever owned it because I emulated. Yeah, I did, and that one, I've been hunting for a copy of this for a while and I haven't been able to get it for a good price until now. That's Ghostbusters 2. I actually ended up getting the Japanese version of that because people are wanting like 20, 25 bucks when the game's really, I think, only worth maybe no more than like 12, 15 at most. But anyway, on to the rest of these Game Boy games, and there is some really good stuff here. How about Ninja Turtles 2, Back from the Sewers? If it's anything as good as the first Ninja Turtle game on the original Game Boy, that'll be a fun one to play. And then DuckTales, which, if you've never played the Game Boy version, it's pretty much a port of the NES version, and it's not bad from what little I've played of it. Next up is Gauntlet 2. Neat thing about them putting Gauntlet 2 on the Game Boy is they actually kept some of the voices in, which is pretty impressive for the Game Boy. I've only seen maybe a couple of games that keep voices on the original Game Boy, and I thought it was pretty impressive that they did that. Next up, here's a weird one. I emulated this one too in a previous video. When I did a solo A to Z for the original Game Boy, I mentioned Hattress. It's like Tetris, but with hats. You gotta like match up different styles of hats. And a little weird, but you know what? It's actually quite fun. This is another one I hear mixed things about. It doesn't look great, but it seems like it'd be a pretty kind of fun game, and that's Batman, based on the original Keaton Batman movie. You know, little tiny Batman character walking around with a gun. A lot of people have reviewed that one. Finally gonna check it out for myself. And next is Mega Man and Dr. Wily's Revenge. I picked up Mega Man 2 last month, and I figured, let's get the first one too. I've never played any of the Game Boy Mega Mans before, so why not? Another interesting one in the lot is Mickey Mouse Magic Wands. You know, Disney games are a bit of a crapshoot. Some of them are excellent and others not so much. So maybe it'll be decent, who knows. And then I think this is some kind of like video pinball type deal. Revenge of the Gator. Not super familiar, but I'll be sure to check it out now. It's in my collection. Here's another interesting one, but maybe I'll save that for the end of the lot here. But this one's also I don't know if this one's any good or not. Amazing Penguin? Anybody? It was in one of the two eBay lots that I picked up for dirt cheap recently. This is one that I've been hoping to look for a good price, and finally got it in a nice lot. And that is Kid Icarus of Myths and Monsters. This is really good. This is superior to the original NES version by far. It's one of those games I've always mentioned when I talk about. There's that one period when Nintendo put out Metroid 2 and Super Mario Land 2 and this, and there were a couple other games, and it just really showed how good the developers got at making games on the Game Boy, that you could find games that were just as good or possibly better than a lot of the NES offerings at the time, and that's really saying something. And the last one of the original Game Boy games to show you is Space Invaders. This is kind of a neat one. If you're not familiar, if you have the Super Game Boy and you play this in your Super Nintendo with the Super Game Boy, you actually have a 16-bit version of Space Invaders to play, as well as having it on the go with the Game Boy itself, which is very neat. I think this is the only Game Boy game, or yeah, it was the only Game Boy game that they did that with, which is really cool. In fact, I think Rerez did a video where he actually referred to this as the smallest Super Nintendo cartridge. Alright, and that's all the games to show you for this month. I've got one more thing. Well, actually, it's 5 more things to show you, but they're all under one category, because this is one of those rabbit holes I wasn't sure I was going to go down, but I did. So let's take a look at the Amiibos that I bought, because I have some Amiibos, mostly due to Breath of the Wild. And yes, these are still in the package. No, I do not plan to take them out of the package. I think they look really cool displayed like this. As for the functionality, I have the Amico, or I think they now call it the N2 Elite, which is a Amiibo emulation device. Uses the near field contact to write files to the thing, and you can do the Amiibo functionality without actually using your Amiibos, which is really cool. Of course, you have to use kind of dubious means to get a hold of the binary files to make it work, but you know what? I have the Amiibos that I'm going to be using with this anyway. I just haven't taken them out of the package. But let me show you which ones I've got. I'll start with probably the least interesting one, probably one of the more common ones out there, and that's the Ganondorf from Smash Brothers. You're going to see a theme. They're all Zelda. And the next three I'm going to show you are all from the new Breath of the Wild series. I'm going to start off with the Bokoblin. Honestly, I think this guy's kind of cute. I don't know. Not all that scary looking. The red Bokoblins, they're just not all that terrifying looking. But when you get to like the, what are they, the brown and gray or whatever, you know, the ones with the spots or whatever, they get a little vicious. And the next is the Archer Link. I think that is damn cool looking. The detail on these Breath of the Wild ones is just fantastic. I know it's kind of hard to see with the packaging on camera, trying to eliminate as much glare as I can from my lighting, but that is a very cool looking design, as is Zelda herself. I really like the look of this one. Actually, I really want to get a copy of the Smash Brothers Zelda, because that one has great detail as well. And I really like the designs of these. I love that bright bluish green kind of color, that kind of almost aqua kind of color. It's not quite a teal, it's more aqua, somewhere in between, that they've used for the new Hyrule color. Well, it's not really that new, because that's the color of the scarf from Hyrule Warriors, and I'm sure it was used in Skyward Sword or one of the later Zeldas. But still, really cool. And the last Amiibo I have to show you, this is one of my favorites that they've made, and that is 8-Bit Link. That is just so cool. I mean, when you see it really close up and you see all the little squares and the cubes, it's almost like it's made out of Legos or something like that. Or like, you know, somebody built it in Minecraft or whatever, but it is so neat looking, especially, honestly, the further away you're looking at it, it is just the cooler it gets. But the detail on this is really neat too. Absolutely love the looks of these things. And yeah, I'm going to collect just the Zelda ones, I think. That's as far as I'm going to get into the rabbit hole. I know some of these are going to get pricey. I think Sheik is one of the rarer of the Amiibos. So there's that. Yeah, some of these I probably will pick up loose too. I don't care. Well, not these ones that I already have, but like future ones that I may get. But that's, you know, something you're probably not going to see me talk about these too much. I just wanted to share my first bunch. So yeah, I guess you can say I'm an Amiibo collector now too. Technically I do have 6 Amiibos, because with the box to Twilight Princess HD, that came with the Wolf Link one, which they're now selling separately, and I see that one flying off shelves and people scalping that one for crazy amounts too. But I bought these at regular stores, did not buy these from any dealers or anything like that. A couple of them I actually got for fairly cheaper than the going price, especially the Link and the Zelda from Breath of the Wild, because I got those within the pre-order window from Amazon. So I got the 20% off because I'm a Prime member. And then I had a credit with, I don't remember who it was, but I had a credit I think with Target or something like that. And that's where I got Ganondorf for pretty cheap. And then I think I ordered a Link here from Toys R Us, if memory suits, and I think I got a fair price on that, where it seemed a little bit less than what eBay was going for. So if you look around in the stores, you will find your Amiibos. If you're going, just be patient. Don't, you know, go nuts to try to get them all. And that's all I gotta say about that, and I hope you've enjoyed this pickups video. I know it's a bit longer, but I think I had some cool stuff to show you. Well, I haven't edited it yet, so it just seems like long, so who knows. Alright, enough jibber jabber. Hope you've enjoyed. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Take care.